Good morning, friends. Hello, hello. Welcome this morning on this glorious Wednesday. Good morning, friends. Hello, hello. Good morning. It feels like. Hey, Vicky, good morning. How are you? It feels a little like fall this morning. It actually had a little bit of that coolness and out there. I'm still working my way and training up for the uh, the Camino that's coming up in about 24 days. I'm about 3 weeks or so plus out right now, so kind of hitting the road. So I'm up early and out and enjoying the coolness of these days. Good morning, friends. Hey, Donna. Good morning. Glad you're here. Hope you're doing well. Cecile, good morning to you. Hello, everybody. All right. We are going to get going this morning. It is the 23rd day of August on this beautiful late summer day of Wednesday. I pray you're well. I pray all is good with you and that we hold our friends and all those who are in grief and having difficulty in Phyllis, and we hold them all up in our prayers in these days, because I want you to know today that you have been prayed for. That if you're a part of this, and I will always kind of pray that anybody who might hear these words will know some blessing from them, but also will know blessing as being a part of this little 1111 community. So welcome. It's been a little while since we've simply looked at a psalm, and this one kind of leapt out at me these days because I think its core message is something that we have to be attentive to in these days. That and that we seem to forget, I think, in some ways, what's really real, what really matters, what are the things that matter in life, and because of all of the messages that we get, all of the ideas that we get, all of the things that are constantly plaguing us. And so, the Psalms are an incredible way to simply come back to basics. The early pilgrims, that was actually one of their core devotional practices, was to read or to sing the Psalms. That they knew that there was kind of strength in them and there was power in them in terms of the ability to deal and to contend with and to heal from the slings and arrows and from all of the bites that the world takes from us. So I want to talk about the 144th Psalm today, and I'm going to read the whole thing for you. It is a little bit long, but I just want you to hear it. I just want to have to let it wash over you. We're going to looking at the translation, which is a little different today. We're looking at the Message translation, which is a very kind of liberal, loosey goosey way of looking at this, but I think it actually helps us crack open some of these old kind of ways that things have been cast, and I wouldn't consider it the only translation anybody looks at, but in some ways it's a great way to kind of to see something we may have seen in the past in a new light. And so, whether you know the 144th Psalm or not, that's not really the point. It is that we might hear it in kind of this different language a little bit to let some of these things take root in us in a new way. So, uh, the so this psalm it's towards the end of the book of Psalms. It is some of these psalms of blessing. They're the songs of the coming king. Really, is what we're talking about. So there's this king that is coming, and this king that is arriving. It's going to make everything right, but there's a fight at hand, that we are to, and that and that we're to kind of run to this king. Kind of the image that's given is the king is coming in, and we're kind of behind enemy lines, and we have to run to the protection of the oncoming army that is coming to rescue us. This is kind of this image that is used here. So so the 144th Psalm. Blessed be God, my mountain, who trains me to fight fair and well. He's the bedrock on which I stand, the castle on which I live, my rescuing knight, the high crag where I run for dear life, while he lays my enemies low. I wonder why you care, O God, why you bother with us at all. We're like a puff of air. We're like shadows in a campfire. Step down out of heaven, God. Ignite volcanoes in the hearts of the mountains. Hurl your lightnings in every direction. Shoot your arrows this way and that. Reach all the way from the sky to the sea. Pull me out of the oceans of hate, out of the grips of those barbarians who lie through their teeth, who shake your hand and then knife you in the back. O God, let me sing a new song to you. Let me play it on a 12-string guitar. A song to the God who saved the king, the God who rescued David, his servant. Rescue me from the enemy's sword. Release me from the grip of those barbarians who lie through their teeth, who shake your hand and then knife you in the back. Make our sons in their prime like sturdy oak trees, our daughters as shapely and bright as fields of wildflowers. Fill our barns with great harvest. Fill our fields with huge flocks. Protect us from invasion and exile. Eliminate the crime in our streets. How blessed, how happy the people who have all this. How blessed, how happy the people who have God for God. It's just so good, isn't it? It's just so good. It's just so that the beauty of what unfolds, that there is a fight on our hands. That there is a fight on our hands. That there are true things out there that would rob us of joy. That there are those who lie through their teeth, who shake your hand and knife you in the back. There is the enemy sword, the grip of the barbarians, all of these images that the psalmist uses to illuminate this world, that where there are things that would come to assault our joy. You see, the true dwelling with God, the idea of dwelling in peace, of dwelling in honesty and virtue and innocence, of dwelling in strength and calmness and power, of dwelling in those places, that power, that kind of the image of the oncoming army, the idea that we have to fight, that this notion that we have, that it is that this whole psalm starts with, "Blessed be God, my mountain, who trains me to fight fair and well." Friends, we are in this time and we are in this age where we must fight for joy. Now, that doesn't mean getting out the shillelagh and going cracking somebody upside the head. It doesn't mean yelling at people. It doesn't mean bringing more divisiveness to this world. But it also means we must stake our castle. We must stake our boundaries. We must stake our claim. We must put the draw the line in our being and take up residence in the castle that is God's love and protection for us, and the high crag where we run for dear life and where God's protection holds us. And this is the thing, is where does the psalmist say that lives? Where does the psalmist say that lives? This is what I really want to get at. This is why I wanted to just have you hear that and let it wash over you and let it be a part of you. But to hear those last few verses from 12 to 15, this last bit, because this is what I think we forget. And this is where I really believe the fight is for us. This is where I really truly believe the fight is for us, to protect and to rescue our joy. If you think it's in the political arena and that you just get the right political candidate, or you hate the right political candidate, you are being swept up in the great fight and the enemy's sword. You are kind of leaping into the place where those who lie through their teeth, those who shake your hand and knife you in the back, well, with all respect to politicians that they deserve, though they're not. There's often questions about their truthiness, is there not? I'm not saying anything radical or anything new there, but this question of when we give our attention, we give our intent, we give our resources, we give everything, that is often simply actually handing over the keys to the gate of our own peace and our own goodness and our own joy to the enemy that would come to destroy it. I'm not advocating kind of being insular in the world and being but there's a difference between being informed and being propagandized. And I would say, and I'm not just saying it's a political arena, I'm saying it's every arena of our life. It's nearly every arena of our life. The medical world has something that they want you to believe. The educational world has something they want you to believe. The political sphere, that every piece of our lives has this kind of propagandizing element. And what's our job? What is our job? Oh God, let me sing a new song. Let me sing a new song. I'm going to say it again. Let me sing a new song on a 12-string guitar. Let me sing in a new way. Let me not get caught up in the choruses around us. Have you ever been in that, like a big crowd that's singing along and like da 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 da? This is actually one of the great successes of the Nazi Party. One of the great successes of the Nazi Party in the 1930s, that their ability to come to power, was the fact that they had the Horst Wessel song. You can go look this up. The Horst Wessel song, which was sung by the Brown Shirts, was this catchy tune that was this chorus about Horst Wessel, who was this guy who had been kind of martyred to the state and bad things happened to him, and he needed to be kind of avenged. And so and it was so catchy that when it was said, sung in bars all over Germany in the 30s and other sort of stuff. But people started realizing, wait a minute, I'm singing a song that isn't that good, and it took them years, that we get caught up in the choruses around us, and David's instruction to us is to sing a new song on our own instrument. And what is the goodness in this? What is the goodness in this way that we are called to take refuge behind the lines of the King? And what does it look like? These verses 12 through 14. Make our sons in their prime like sturdy oak trees, our daughters as shapely and bright as fields of wildflowers. Fill our barns with great harvest. Fill our fields with huge flocks. Protect us from invasion and exile, eliminate the crime in our streets. How happy the people who have all this. How blessed the people who have God for their Lord, for the God for God. I think one of the great commentators, probably one of the great commentators of our days, I think he's kind of actually underappreciated in some ways, but I think there's a way in which we might find he's more appreciated, given the commentary that he made on the 20th century and how so much of it seems to be appropriate today. Was an author by the name of Kurt Vonnegut. If you want to go read some Vonnegut, I think this is an age of Vonnegut, actually. There's some incredibly beautiful stuff. If you're not a reader, that's fine. But he has this quote, and I think it goes to the heart of this. And I think, this is really my whole instruction, what I believe the whole instruction of this 144th Psalm is, I think this is the nugget of it for our age, and what we are really called to do in these days when we see these incredible clashes and incredible forces and incredible corruption and incredible falling aparts and falling downs. What can we do with all of that? Well, we can fight for our joy. And what does that look like? I think it looks like this. And this is what Vonnegut writes. And I think it looks like this. I urge you, this is Kurt Vonnegut, I urge you to please notice when you are happy and exclaim or murmur or think at some point, if this isn't nice, I don't know what is. Did you get it? Did you get now you may think you may be wildly disappointed that we just spent 15 minutes of an 11-minute talk to get to this point. But I'm going to double down on this and really try to press this with you. That fighting for our joy first means noticing our joy and be willing to name it out loud. Be willing to simply say, my goodness, this was a delicious meal. My goodness, I am so proud of the work that my children are doing, or that my friends are doing, or my church is doing, or what I've created in this world, or what I'm working on, or that is beautiful and it brings me joy. I urge you to please notice when you are happy, says Vonnegut, and I would urge you to that too. And I'm not, and there's a difference here. There's a difference here. I'm not saying like when you're like, kind of getting our carnal needs met and our base desires met, because that's not really happiness, nor is it nearly joy. It is simply pleasure, and pleasure has an expiration date on it, and pleasure will always disappoint. Pleasure will always kind of have every candy bar has a sugar hangover. There'll always be a hook in pleasure. But this is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the defense of joy. I'm talking the fighting for your joy, and that the first and greatest thing we can do is, I think what Vonnegut is calling us to do is to urge you to please notice when you are happy and exclaim or murmur, or just think at some point, if this isn't nice, I don't know what is. To name the fact that you are experiencing the joy of the Lord in the course of your day, whether it is in the appreciation of a wildflower, whether it is in the wonder of a piece of music, whether it's in the taking stock of work well done, whether it is in and just look at what the psalmist says. To make our sons in their prime like sturdy oaks, to nurture the creation of the world, the building of the world, those who would build in the world, to be like sturdy oaks, to be great creators, that we're nurturing the creators of the world, the builders of the world. Our daughters shall be shapely and bright as wildflowers, that we are cultivating the beauty of the world, that we fill our barns with great harvest, that we come from this place that is out of abundance, not out of scarcity, and that we enjoy the abundance of our days, even if the abundance of our days is we just happen to have enough today. and we fill our fields with huge flocks, that there's something for the future. We protect us from invasion and exile. We push away and we stamp away that which would take away and would damage the very beauty of our joy, that would damage the calm of our days, that would impede upon us. We eliminate the crime in our streets. Oh, friends, that we might take stock of the peace of our streets. And when I say the peace of our streets, I mean the streets of our addresses, the streets of our homes, the streets of our businesses, the streets in which we inhabit. How happy the people who have all this are. How blessed the people are who have God for their Lord. How happy. This, friends, is the invitation to happiness. It is these basic logos things, the things that are eternal, the things that are all that for 1,000 years ago were the most important things to the people who lived then, and today they are the most important things to us. We may lose track of them, we may lose sight of them, and that is the work of the invader. That is the work of the enemy. And yet, I think Vonnegut just captures it today, just holds it true. And so I want to close today with just this, that you might hear his invitation, and that in his invitation you might hear the ability to fight for your joy. You might hear the ability, the invitation to go forward and not let the world kind of goose step with its muddy boots over the true, the good, and the beautiful that you find in your days, because that is the place that Christ is calling to us. That is the place of the great army that is coming to save us, and that is our path into behind the lines, into the safety of the coming salvation, that we might follow the breadcrumbs of our own joy. Not just our pleasures, not our wants and desires, but our true joy. And that we might start by seeing it and noticing it and naming it. So friends, with Mr. Vonnegut and we, this day, I urge you to please notice when you are happy, to exclaim or murmur or think at some point, if this isn't nice, I don't know what is. Because if this isn't nice, we can't name what is nice, then we have lost true connection to all the logos, all the true, the good, and the beautiful. And what it all really asks from us is that we notice it, and we admire it, and we bear witness to the great creation of God. And in that, all darkness is dispelled. All right, friends, that's my hope for you today. Peace and grace to you. We're on the road tomorrow, but we will be here, and so we'll have another 11:11. And so peace and grace to you, my friends. We'll pick it up tomorrow.